to this. Wonderful. Okay, so welcome to Can Our Mindset Be Fixed presentation. And in this session, we explore a new way to understand mindset, not just as a concept, but as something alive and dynamic that impacts every area of our life. Because the reality is this: our mindset is a dynamic lens and it's never truly fixed. So by the end of this training, you will begin to see yourself as your challenges through a completely different lenses. And hopefully this powerful shift will forever change how you think, how you feel, and how you move through the world. Some of you might be familiar that there's this concept of, someone has the fixed mind. And so I was, when I went through this material, when I discovered this material and this concept, I was very excited because I never liked when someone said, well, your mind is fixed. And so I'd like to share this material with you to be able to demonstrate that our mind is never fixed. So what are we going to learn tonight? We will examine the solutions to our daily challenges by considering them through the lens of our mindset. And so to assist in this journey, I will share several frameworks that will help us reflect on the ideas from the mindset and discuss our thinking patterns. And here are the questions that probably go through our mind. Everyone has these questions, and we're going to find answers using those frameworks. So the question number one is why caring for your mindset daily is just as essential as caring for your body or relationships. Why your perception of yourself, others, and the world around you might be what's holding you back. How your beliefs are formed and how to shift them. How to stop taking everything personally so you can protect your energy and agency. How to move into development of the mindset and how to architect a better life. Does that sound exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was exciting for me when I discovered that. So why caring for your mindset daily is just essential as caring for your body or relationships. Let's dig into that. And for that, I wanted to share the framework. It's called 4A framework. And so most of the people today are conditioned for I'm worthy. And people are stuck in this question and they don't move anywhere. But what they should be thinking is they should condition their mind for high performance. So let's dig into that. So the first A represents aim, and this is the lens through which we see the lens through which we see the world determines the size of our ambitions. And many people simply fail to achieve their goals because they not truly see them. And this is where we need to practice visualization, and visualization that ends in victory. And so this is the daily practice that we should be using to help us to aim higher. So, for example, if we aspire to be speakers on the stage, we should visualize ourselves doing so. And if we feel that we don't have confidence, we should practice the things that we are afraid of, and that's where the confidence comes from. So the willingness, if we wanted to grow, we need to improve our ability to visualize. And people say, well, what do I do? So we really need to find a strategy, and the strategy is that we should be proactively looking for someone who has already done it, so we can start to practice. And once we found that person, we can ask them, what are the specific steps to visualize, and start to practice those steps. We also need to schedule that visualization. We need to put a deadline. When are we going to start doing it, and start doing it daily? And we also need to seek social support, because when we are with our community, and when they support us, we can they keep us accountable, then we can actually do it, and we will feel that we're achieving something. The second A in the framework is affect. So affect relates to our emotional responses, and the lens through which we view the world can be clouded either negatively or positively, right? So it's important, and we already know about building a solid foundation through positive habits, and this is our fortress. If we build that fortress, in a positive thinking, then if something happens to us, we can have a reference. So how do we do that? There are different ways, and let's stop and ask you guys. I think Barbara has already left. Don't see Barbara. Anyway, Karen, are you practicing your positive mindset? Do you practice? I can't hear you.
In some way, I'm sort of practicing, but maybe not consciously. I think it's because I had some life coaching,
Mhm.
and that helped me with a bit of mindset. So I think there was some benefit in me in doing all the photography stuff initially, because I sort of recognized earlier on that, well, maybe I needed to improve my mindset. And I think being surrounded, and going to a lot of networking groups, that has helped me to shape my mindset too, because I'm surrounded by these people.
Yeah, that's right. And so the practices that I have in mind, and thank you for sharing with yours, because you're saying that you are surrounding yourself with the positive people, or
Even though I haven't been going to networking groups as much, but
mhm.
I think their attitudes and their outlook still stays with me. So
Yeah,
there was a benefit.
that's right. So the habits that you can include are habits of regular exercises, quality sleep,
Mm.
nutrition, eating, and weekly clarity seeking, or everyday clarity seeking. Whatever we do, seeking clarity, focusing on priority tasks, and as you said, nurturing connections and relationships, and cultivating love and positivity. So when we amplify those positive habits, then when we approach to life, something happens. We have our positive thinking foundation, and then we can respond from there, rather than responded from negativity. Oh, I'm always, wrong. I can't do it, and so forth. You're telling yourself positive things. The third I is achievement, and when we achieve things, we are likely to have a good perspective, because we can apply these perspectives. Yes, I've achieved something, and then I can achieve another thing. I already have a reference to it. And the last thing, A is agency. The agency is basically, have I got ability to achieve this? Am I capable? Or if I need new skill, am I capable to learn this skill? Okay, so let's move across. And so here is another way of looking to through the lens of mindset, and it is, what do we see through this lens? And so we look through we look at the world through a combination of three things. We look through, what do I think about myself through this lens? What do I think about others? And what do I think about the world? So for example, Karen, can you recall the challenge that you had recently? And I would like you to think through, how did you look at that challenge? So can you recall a challenge that you had recently?
Well, I think it was I think my challenge was, trying to find a niche for my YouTube channel, sort of meditation music. I just found it that I was getting, well, really inconsistent sort of traffic or views, for my stuff before I try to maybe create some Christian meditation music. So I think I've sort of thought I had to think about what I can do to, you know, I also had to think about how I can do it in a way that is sustainable for myself as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't end up in the same position as I was before, with my photography. So started to maybe just do shorts, because it's easier for myself, and
Yeah,
also learning how to mix the sounds together. That was another
right.
challenge. So there were a few different things.
Yeah. So you had this challenge because you were building your YouTube channel.
Yeah, like
You started to
I
think,
had to
what is
think
your,
about, why am I doing this?
yeah,
I'm just thought, well, maybe I want to create a community, but also hoping that it will develop in a way that will be financially viable as well.
yeah. And you possibly, you mentioned that you started to think, what am I capable of doing? And you
Mm.
started to put some limitations on that, because you were
And
worried
what
that
would appeal
maybe,
to people as well?
yeah, you wanted to appeal to people, and you want to appeal to people as a relaxed and happy person, I assume. And you say, okay, I I started to think that maybe I shouldn't commit myself to too much. I can only do this. Now, when you were doing this, what were you thinking about others?
Well, in terms of others, maybe think about what would appeal to them, or maybe how I can do it in a way that, for example, I might need to, maybe in my YouTube titles, I probably had to be more specific, like what the music is for. Say, like, well, we'll go on to the search bar and see what's trending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in here, I want you to think about, in terms of, what am I creating for these people? What are they capable of receiving? Right. So you started to have an idea about these people, what they're looking for, and also, what do they believe will help them. And the third one is, what were you thinking about the world when you were going through this challenge?
Um,
And I want to help you. You thinking, when we do this, were you thinking, is the world helping me on this journey, or is it, there are various difficulties?
I didn't think they were against me. I just think it just takes time, to
Go
develop a
through.
niche, and to find what they could be looking for. So
Yes,
I
thank
found
you.
that the only way I would know is just by posting and seeing my stats.
Yeah. So I hear that you were fairly open to what that the world is actually helping you
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
to move through this challenge.
Hmm.
Okay, let's move uh, to the next slide. So what perception? So these are a few concepts, and I want us to go through these concepts because um, the question here is that sometimes we have a perception of ourselves and how we view ourselves, the world, and the others, and that may be holding us back into what we are actually going to do or how we're going to present ourselves. So the first is our intention. If we wanted to do something, and if we perceive people um, are against us, we will stop doing certain things, and we will act differently. So it affects our intentions. So that's very important to figure out. For example, if I'm going to walk into this room and I'm going to present something, are these people against me or positive? Clearly I will be presenting it differently because if I know that these people are against my ideas, then I will put sort of different guards to protect myself while I'm delivering it. The second thing is intelligence. If I believe that I have some level of intelligence, I believe that I can influence other people, and I can interact with other people in a certain way. So on the other hand, if I feel inadequate, I might not even ask the question. I might be afraid to share things. The third I is interaction. And interaction means that we will interact with other people depending on how whether this interaction is positive or negative. So these are some things that we really need to understand about ourselves, as we said, as I mentioned before, ourselves, other people, and the world. Where am I standing? The three C's are control, capability, and changeability. So in terms of control, do I feel confident and do I feel well where I control the world, or do I only require the internal control? So if we plus, do I feel that the world is controlling me, or do I have control over all my life? And that will it will show how we perceive everything. So, for example, if we have a manager and the manager thinks that he or she needs to control the people, then the team will act differently. If the person comes as a manager and they will only know that they have a control of themselves, internal control, that means that they feel confident, that they feel at ease to explain things, that they will also feel at ease to be vulnerable, that kind of the style between the manager and the team is also different. The next element is capability. And so what do we believe about our capability? Am I capable, or am do I believe in myself? Can I actually move those 4 A's that we've spoken in previously? Can I improve my aim, my affect, my achievement, and my agency? And last one is changeability. Do I believe that I can change, that I can change me? Do I believe in that? So to summarize that, the first shift that we need to embrace is to recognize that our mindset is not our identity, and it's not set in stone. Our mindset serves as a dynamic lens that can change over time. It's essential to nurture and adjust this lens. So for me, that was the big revelation, is that our mindset is constantly changeable, and depending on where we are, on the environment, what set of beliefs we've created, we might be acting that way. But because this lens is changeable, we can, by growing our mindset, we can change it. We can change who we are. And so that's inspiring for those who want to achieve their goals, but they don't know what should they be working on. Should they be physically working harder, or what should they be? Some people basically say, okay, I've already finished 5 years university degree. I don't need to develop my mindset anymore. But we, discovering here that this is not the truth. This is the ever evolving lens that is shaping our capability, our capacity, and also leading to changing our identity. Now, the next framework is about how we forming beliefs. And so I just wanted to explain that. So basically, the way it works is that we receive information, and information, it's not negative or positive. It just is. So we subconsciously, very quickly, we think how this defines me. And so the next step is that we go through interpretation. We interpret this as being negative, or being safe, or threat. And then we apply this to our identity, because we start to ask questions. How is it relevant to me? Does this define me? And so we start to build our intention, and so we ask ourselves, what am I intending? What am I doing? And then we're taking initiative. Now, what has been found that this process happens very quickly, and most of people don't actually realize what is happening in that process. So they basically jump from the information and to initiative, right? That beliefs that they have in their subconscious, they attach it to them the identity, and that's how they create a new belief, right? So to be able to shift those beliefs, we really need to consciously go through interpretation ladder, meaning that we don't jump from information to initiative to action. We actually start to ask ourselves question. Is that relating to me? Or is it just information? Is it relevant to me? Does it define me? And so we might take a completely different action once we go through this process. And we might start changing those beliefs in our subconscious because we review them. The other concept is that a lot of people take everything, many people these days take everything personally. And so once we take things personally, we really reduce our capacity to do things, and we were just focusing on something happened to us. And this framework is called ZAP. So we basically zoom into the problem. And you might heard about the person who say, oh, gee, I have a really big nose. I'm really worrying about this. So it means they zoom into the problem and they're just focusing on it, right? And so they can apply the same strategy to all different areas of their life. And so to deal with this is to ask yourself, am I focusing on problem or a solution? So always changing the direction of our focus into the solution, because our mind loves focusing. So we need to give it something that is actually productive and positive. And so we need to zoom out from the problem and start to look at the wider perspective and say, okay, can I solve this problem? Start looking at the solutions. And therefore, this is another situation when we attach the problem to our personality, to who we are. So if I have big nose, that means I'm a person with a big nose, and I'm kind of putting it to my personality, and that's it. I can't move. So stop zooming into the problem, and stop making it worse. Stop catastrophizing. That's the idea. So the second shift we need to embrace is continuous development of our mindset. So when we are aware how we create those beliefs that limit us, start to really question those, and also how we interpret things. Things happen and how we interpret them, and then therefore how we act, we need to develop it. Now, let me take you to the framework which helps us to develop our mindset, because once we have a developed mindset, we reduce our stress and we improve our well-being, and that's the aim of our life. So this framework is called APR, and there are really 3 easy steps. The first step is to start aiming consciously, and start dreaming. Really, put the mind into focus, which is a positive focus, where we want to go, and start to seeing yourself in that role. And now the second step is develop daily practices, because those practices will support us doing this. So the practices that we need to develop are the practices that will help us to support the goal itself, and also the practices that will help us to support our well-being. Anything to do with the creating energy and healthy mindset and the body and spirit. So it's meditation, exercises, nutritional eating, and then clarifying what our obstacles are, what we want to achieve, and so forth. And the third element to develop our mindset is to develop resilience. Because resilience is important. Things happen every day. And and if we, if we're going to crumble under that, that's not the way. So we need to really create a condition um, that will create, that will reverse the, bring the confidence, and teach us the taking responsibility. And like these days, people say, "Oh, I've been rejected, I've been compared." Deal with this. Know where we need to go, and be resilient, and expect that things may not go our way, and that doesn't mean that this is a personal failure. This is just a part of the journey. Challenges come from fallouts. So the third shift, we must embrace and design a better life for ourselves, which, it takes a little bit of time, resilience and work every day, those practices. And the biggest challenge that we deal with is that we have fears, and we seem to not being able to create the fear because we can't overcome fear. And we really need to reevaluate our mindset around fear, because really it's not the fear that stops us from achieving and growing. It's the mindset that holds us back. The mindset restricts us. And the elements, the 4 R's, which are the major fears that seem to be overwhelming people, are that something will ruin us. It's to do with we zap and zoom into the problem, and we start to catastrophize. We are fearing of rejections and start feeling insecure, and thinking about ourselves that the problem is me. And that's when we need to really reframe of what rejection. Why do we worry about rejection? The next fear is that responsibilities. We often say, "Well, we can't handle it. We can't take those responsibilities. I can't do it," and so we really need to step in, because the sense of responsibility pushes us into action, and pushing us into learning new skills, and therefore by doing so we became more confident, because we don't want to live in the fear of regret. And so many people do fall into this trap, and not only just before the end of their life, but during the life itself. They often say, "Yeah, I regret that I didn't took this position. I regret that I didn't buy that house. I regret and regret." And so that's why it's so important to work on our mindset. And I appreciate that was so much information here, but I hope this will kind of bring some thinking, more thinking and more decisions into your life. And what advice in here is that if we can shift our focus from our inner world into outer world, we actually improve our life. Because what that means, that instead of focusing on me, we start to focus on other people, and by working with other people, we start to and connecting with other people and engaging with other people, we start to build relationships that influence our mindset, brings gives us energy, and then we can build a better future. So if I would invite you to maybe discover and stop and start to look around and say, okay, what those relationships do to me, and how can I actually start focusing on the people around me? Maybe ask them, what do you need? How can I help you? What I give to you, because from my experience, that usually creates the synergy back, and I am more motivated to grow, to improve my skills by giving and helping others. And so I invite you also to do that. But the last thing that I wanted you to do is to really identify 5 skills, or at least 5 skills that are necessary for your advancement. I know you all have goals, and you want to achieve those goals, but if to be able to achieve, it's often relating to the skill set that we have. So it's it's no good to say, okay, I can't do this because I don't know that, but can I develop those skills? And how do I develop those skills? There may be people around me who already have those skills. Can I ask them? And so maybe put a marker, put a little note on your computer and say, okay, who can help me with this particular skill? And that's it for today. And on this topic, would you have any questions? Would you like to make a comment on that? Barbara.
First of all, my apologies for dropping out. My PC has crashed on me 3 times through the previous session and now today. So I'm obviously up for a big problem. Now, about your presentation, isn't that amazing that you can say the same thing in so many different ways and with such an seemingly opposite focus? But the focus is not opposite. And that's what I wanted to say, because when you said stop focusing on you and start focusing on others, why we're focusing on us, at least that's what we are being taught, is so that you can recognize things. You cannot see in others what you are not aware of. So building this awareness, you cannot see. I mean, there was some tribe that didn't recognize a blue color. They said all grades of green, but they didn't see blue, because that's what didn't exist in their vocabulary. So going from the back is there is good in one and the other. The one and the other are complementary, right? But everything else, and there, you did cover an enormous. I would have to go slide by slide to comment on it. Certainly, the competence builds confidence. So if you want to succeed, you've got to have confidence, but you can't have confidence if you don't have skills.
Exactly.
So that is very important. And the other one, the first one that you mentioned was stop focusing on I'm worthy and start thinking about performance. That one kind of didn't agree with me, but
could you say it again? Could you say it again?
The thing that you said is people now focus on I'm worthy, and where they should be focusing is on their performance. And of course, if you are talking about work environment and them succeeding, you've got to focus on performing and not on I am me. So I'll get the recognition. However, you need to have that strong belief in yourself, like you said, resilience later, that comes to feeling good about yourself, to give you that ability to then to then focus on the performance. So all of those things are related.
I think it's I need to clarify the definition of high performance. Definition of high performance, it means I'm performing well, so my mind is performing well. It means that I have clarity where I'm going. I have energy, means that I'm working on getting the energy, exercising, so forth. I know I have a necessity, so I'm driving to do something. I am productive, means, when I decide to do something and I can do it, I have skills to do it. Am I influential? Meaning, I'm creating something that people find valuable. And the last one, I have a courage to stand up, to say, and to do something. I take responsibility. So that's what I mean by high performance. As opposed to, people saying, am I worthy? Especially people who believe in God, they know that they are already worthy because they came to this world and not by accident. There was a big competition, the sperm was going to the egg, and here they are arrived. So they definitely worthy. The word is given to them. And so endlessly ask a question, am I worthy of that or that or that? It's a waste of time. Total waste of time, because you have been giving this life to conquer it, and you are worthy of everything. But are you capable? Are you, in the sense that I explained, are you a high performing person? Are you improving yourself as you go? That's a different thing. So if you sitting and thinking, am I worthy to get this other job? Of course you are worthy, but you have to do the check. Are you working on yourself? Are you working on your skills? What skills do I need for this particular job?
Yes. And I said you can say the same thing in many different ways. And for what it meant is that there is this triangle, this perception that, we are born as a person that is capable of everything, right? We are worthy, we are lovable, and we are enough. And
that's
that
right.
gives us the freedom to achieve anything, of course, if we take action. However, as we grow up and we are told, don't do that, this is not appropriate.
Yeah.
Be quiet. We suppress those things, and our feeling of worthiness goes down.
Exactly.
So what people do is, and as you said that at the very beginning, tell yourself that you are good and you will feel better and you will be good. So it is about working yourself, but it's all different words, but meaning the same thing.
Meaning the same thing. Again, you might, I think you mentioned this, that, stop focusing on yourself, go and focus on other people. That doesn't mean that you don't take responsibility on doing those things that we already have discussed. You have to continue working on yourself. But if you focus on yourself that I'm not good enough, and then you continually, singing that song, you're actually not, you're not doing what you're meant to do, because we are meant to here to help one another, to create that synergy. And then in that action, if you see the neighbor needs that and you want to help them, and you should be wanting to help them, you also need to say, okay, well, next time I come, I'll be better prepared, because maybe I need to have more courage. I need to have this and that. So it's the loop that we need to go through constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, agree. It's just the
Yeah.
words are different and the context is different, and you say, "Wow,
Yeah.
isn't it good to have exposure to different language?"
That's right. And, and I said this from the very beginning, the reason that I was so attracted to this kind of way of thinking is that, um, that, our mind is the lens, this dynamic lens, is
Yes,
that,
I'm a follower.
many people will say, oh, he or she has a fixed mindset. It's maybe metaphor, but no one has a fixed mindset because we continuously change that. Our beliefs are shaped by the environment that we're in. If we keep changing the environment, our beliefs will be adjusted. So, yeah, any other question? Karen, did you have any questions?
No, not really, you know.
Happy with that. Okay. I'm happy that we've kind of delivered that. It maybe wasn't. I can't hear you, Barbara.
Getting to turn it off when I cough, and that's why back and forth. So my apologies. It's good to be across the mindset topic because it's a very undefined thing. When you say mindset, it means everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. With that in mind, I'm really happy to see you guys. And I'm looking forward to see you again in 2 weeks' time. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to talk about. Karen, maybe you'd like to share something from your end?
It's a bit hard for me because of work, but
Because you're working.
I sort of don't know what topic I could create, but
You could entertain us with your meditation.
With your meditation, show us how it works. Choose one and talk about the one and what makes it special. Why is it for sleep and what not for good appetite, for instance?
Okay.
You could use it for getting information from your audience. Maybe we could answer some questions.
Okay.
Get to appreciate what you're doing. That's right. Because I think the biggest thing is people hear, they like it and it's good, but from what you said, you have got a purpose for every piece of music, and that differentiates it. And
I think it's important when I do music. I think it's important to. I find it's important to know why am I creating new music? Is it for sleep or